very good evening. I got carried away then. I was trying to get everything ready. So let me get logged in here. There we go. Right. So good evening. Sorry about that. Hi Alison. With the anticipation. I know, last minute prep, and I'm nicking your idea, I'm afraid. My little twist on it. I loved the idea you put in the Crafty Reads group, so I'm going to be borrowing that. Hi Denise. Hi Lynn. So it's Monday. We are back to our usual monthly Make Mondays. I've got our July set to use tonight, which is the lovely, I don't even know, it's not even moved off my desk to be fair. So it's that one, and excuse my rather torn packaging, everything got stuck. Hi Zena. So I've been trying to rescue, I'll show you actually, the big flower head. So I need to do some work on that and get that rescued, don't I? Hi Shahan. So, what I forgot to tell you, well, you've definitely been keeping me busy. I think I am I'm almost caught up. By tomorrow afternoon we will be caught up on orders, because we were naughty and had a week away. So we should be caught up by that tomorrow, and then everything should be back to normal, I think. Nearly. Anyway, so yeah, Monday, monthly make. I've done a sneaky peek on August's box. It's a bit different. If you got our calendar, you'll recognise one of the stamps out of it. I'm not telling you anymore because it'll give it away. But it's a really big stamp. You're going to need either a poly mount or a stamping platform to use it with. So I'm just giving you a heads up there. Did we have a nice break? We did indeed. We had lovely weather, and yeah, it was lovely to get away. I can't say it was rest. If you not see my bags, it definitely wasn't a restful week, but we had a week away. We all had fun. That was the main thing. Hi Mum. So should we get crafting? I think so. Oops, my phone's just done something weird, so I'll deal with that as we go. And you can tell I've been away because it is that one I need. I couldn't find the right button. How rude. Me and technology. To be honest, I was expecting it to have a, there you go, phone's back up and running. I was expecting it to have had an update whilst I was gone, but it's not. Touch wood, touch wood. Right. To be honest as well, I had to try and find my desk because we had a cello bag delivery the day before we went away, and it literally just got through into here, and I couldn't get anywhere near my desk. And then I suddenly had that mass panic. It's like, oh, I'm going live in like half an hour and I can't get anywhere near my desk. Right, there's one there. Let's put that in there. I'm looking for quite a clean piece of paper because I want to use embrace our white space. Hi Alice. So I'm in my journal, but again, you know, you can use your the ideas for. Ooh, that's cleanish, isn't it? Oops, I just lost that one. There we go. It's not like I'm going to find a perfectly clean page in here, is it? You know how it goes. That one was quite a dirty page, so we need to do something with that. You can see all the different monthly makes we've had in here as well, can't you? I do love that. That was December's, I think. I should really write on it what month it was. Right, I think it's going to be one that's near my fingers. That was March's, I think. We always put one in here, don't we? I think that's about my cleanest. What's that one like? That might be Brusho. Could very well be Brusho, that one. So we're not going to use that one. So it's down to that one or that one. So I'm going to go this one because it's actually the outside I want to keep white. That was a bit of a palaver, wasn't it? Right, I think I'm going to close my curtain because otherwise we're getting a right glare. So bear with me 1 second. Can't believe I'm locking out the sunshine. Oh, I didn't have to lock too much of it out. Oh, yes I did. A bit more. blocking out our sunshine. There we go, and that'll be okay, won't it? It will. So, like I said before, I'm actually going to use one of Alison's ideas and create a frame using our lovely stamps. So I'm going to do 2 at once because we know we can do that. Oops, ignore me. Right, I'm faffing. It's not a good start, is it really? So, I think I've stopped the chair squeaky. Oh no, I've not. Spoke too soon. Glad to know some things don't change. Squeaky chairs on a Monday night. What would we do without them? So I want the lovely circle one. You know, the rings. Yeah. Just trying to get myself a bit more room. If you hear a bang, it's just because everything went on the floor. So I've already cut some scrap paper up. Oh, they're a bit big, aren't they? I had cut them into 2-inch strips, but I think they're going to be a bit too big at 2-inch, so it'll be a little bit less. About 1 inch, I reckon. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? 1 inch rather than 2-inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my circles in the bottom and top corner. I'm just going to move this one closer to the edge, because otherwise I'll be fighting with the spine on my book. So I want these in a permanent ink, and I'm thinking, I'll let you know the colours I've chosen first. I want it quite summery, so I've got Twisted Citron and Salty Ocean. So I think I'm going to stick with a green or grey. No, I'm going to go grey. Let me move those ones out of the way. I will find my desk underneath all this stuff, all the gubbins. There we go. Right, so I've got a smoky grey there. I'm just going to ink him up. So just make sure you really ink him up. Whoops. And then I'm just going to pop a couple in the bottom corner. Oh, it's quite a dark grey. I must have mixed up my greys. I haven't. It does look quite dark for smoky grey, this one. So I'm going to grab that one, put that on there. Oops, I needed to do a mask. We'll do a mask in a second. And then we're just going to add another few little circles. You know me, I can't put equal numbers, it's got to be odd numbers. So just popping them on there. Do that one way, I think. I'm just going to grab my now you can see that's quite faint. It's done that. But as long as I can see it enough to cut it out, that's all that matters. Go. And this one as well. Horrid thought that I hadn't stamped onto the sticky side. Won't be the first time I've done that. I'm going to take 2. Hi Nicola! We're just going to cut around here. And this was Yvonne's idea, wasn't it, to cut more than one out at a time. So I'm leaving a border. I nearly chopped that bubble off, never mind. And that one. So there's the big one done. And we've got this really faint, I don't know if you can quite see it. Oh, you can. Just round this one. There we go. So now I'm hoping we can quickly just pop that one on there. Doesn't have to be perfect. And to be fair, it would look quite cool, wouldn't it, having a like what do you call it? Not disjointed. Well, it's just off to one side slightly. I'll get that one. It is a good little trick, isn't it? I'm sure it was Yvonne that told us this one. And of course, I am nicking your idea as well, Alison, so credit where credit's due. I'm going to pop that one on there. Now, in theory, the rest of my circles should be behind my masks. That will stick down, because we'll tell it to. I can't be the only one that sits and growls at your paper, so it does what you want it to do. So, I'm just grabbing some washi tape. And I'm just going to pop it on my top, because I don't want it to stick. I know that sounds really daft, but all I'm doing is just sticking it on my top or on the back of your hand. Just pop it on the back of your hand so it's not as tacky. Yeah. And then we're going to take these little strips that I've cut, and I'm just going to pop it in. So can you see I'm about an inch out on there. I'm going to cheat, I'm going to stick that one down because he's not doing as he's told, is he? And pop that one there. Ooh. Just knocking everything over. I am wondering whether one of the little roos will come and tidy my office for me this week. So I'm just going to pop this one in half so it is an inch. And then we can pop this one down this edge. So I'm actually going to do this one from the perforation on my paper. Yep, just like that. I'm going to grab a little bit more washi. Now, I'm doing this using, I'm masking off. You could use a die for this. You could use, well, yeah, a die or a cutout shape. Or you could just grab one of your poly plates and pop your colour down using your poly plates. But I don't have a poly plate in this set, so I'm trying to be good. And I'm going to pop one across the bottom. Just like that. Again, grab my washi tape. So this is a way to get the look of a poly plate without actually having a poly plate. I'm just going to stick that on there. Pop that on there. So you can see I'm just creating a frame, nothing special. And this guy is driving me crackers because he just doesn't want to sit down at all. So he's having more tape shoved on him. See? Again, just put that on there. And a final one. Oh, I didn't rip my washi tape in half. Let's grab another piece. Oh, to be fair, it don't matter because it's going over my mask, isn't it? Right, so you can see I've got a nice little rectangle masked off. I've masked off my circles in my corners, and now we're just going to add some colour. Really straightforward, but it is going to look really effective when we're done. So you could, like I say, use your poly plates. You could grab your brushes if you wanted a really intense colour. but you know me, I want a splodgy effect. So I'm going to grab a piece of acetate, just one of the carrier sheets, minus the stamps. And then I'm just going to start adding some colour. So I'm going to go with my Twisted Citron first. I'm going for a very springy look. Not springy look, summer look. We're in summer now, aren't we? Ooh, don't spray it on top. So I've got my bubbles. And we're just going to start adding this in the background. Ooh. I've activated a bit of brush show as well. Now you'll notice I'm going a little bit more heavy handed than I normally would, because I want the edges, I want there to be a difference between the edge and my white space. Yep, so there's that one. I'm just going to wipe this off. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my heat gun. Oh, heat gun in this one, I didn't think that through, did I? Good job I've got my fan going, isn't it? And you can see I'm just using cheap copier paper on this. So we need to work quite quickly because I don't want it to go through. If your copier paper gets too wet and a bit soggy, like I've done up here, best thing you can do, just take it off, pop a new piece on. I am literally just using what I print your orders out on, that type of paper. And then I've got Salty Ocean. I'm going to be a little bit more reserved with this blue. Just giving it a quick spritz. Yep, so it's lovely and bubbled. I love the bubbles. Probably didn't need as much of this as what I've done, but and remember as well to get in round your little circles and things, because again they'll have like a halo around them, won't they? So I think it makes them just look. I said I didn't want much of this one, but actually I'm using quite a bit, aren't I? Yeah, I think that's about right. So I'm just going to clean off my acetate, if I remember which side I've spritzed. I've done that once too many times as well, where I've put the wrong side down and wondered why no ink going onto the paper. So it was going onto my fingers instead. So again, I am just drying this off, and don't be in a rush to take your mask off. I know it's going a bit crinkly up at the top, but I'm not worrying too much. Oof. It's like hot flushes with this going. Right. Oh, hi Pauline. Oh, that sounds nice. And a nice chat. Right, so again, you could have done all that just plonking a polyplate down. Yep. And now I'm going to stick to my same colours. So I have picked up my Twisted Citron. I nearly forgot what colour I had then. And we're just going to build this background a little bit more. Hi Christine. So I'm trying to stick to the same colour palette. Yep. that. So I'm just going to pop another one. This is where you've got to decide, well, less is more sometimes, isn't it? She says throwing even more on. I'm going to do a couple of blue and I think I'm going to call it quits. So I'm going to stick with my big one first. And then we might just do a couple of that little one in the grey, because I think that could look quite nice. I know, I change my mind as often as my socks. Being a messy monkey tonight, aren't I? See, this blue is quite overpowering, isn't it? I don't know why I keep missing that bit there. Okay. I think I'm just going to do one there. Bit of a second generation. There we go. Right, I'm going too much now. So we've got our lovely little circles in the corners. Yeah, we've got our background coming, and my idea is we're going to pop one of our big flowers into this piece. So, all decision time. Do we want to do any more on this bit? Oh, easy, that moment, isn't it? Do I want some more going in there? I'm half tempted to pop a few amazings in there, because that's how it's going to look, isn't it? Decision time. No, I think I'm going to keep it as it is. I know, indecisive is my middle name, honestly. Let's move our masks. Yes. So, I don't want to take that off or not. I want to keep them on for the minute. Let me just rescue my other one. Definitely got stuck on, didn't it? I'm just going to pop that one back on there. Not quite ready for it to come off yet. Yep, so now we're going to go for our big flower head. And I'm just going to position my stamps in there, so we've got a little bit of dream. Or do I actually just want to? I'm talking to myself a lot tonight, aren't I? I kind of wanted it popping out the sides, but it's not. Oh, I know what we can do. Have one of those and another one, and we'll do some lovely little, like, whatchamacallit, doodling. Can't believe I forgot the word doodle. It's obviously been a long week. Right, so let's get my book comfy for me to stamp. We're going to have our lovely dream coming in here. I didn't need to leave these because it will work okay. I'm going to start off with a big one. I'm going to grab my ink. There we go. Make sure he's well and truly inked up. I should to make sure it was going to stamp properly, I should have really heat the Distress Oxides, because sometimes it doesn't like going over wet embossing. Got embossing powder on my brain tonight. Distress Oxide. I'll get there in the end. Right. Hope that one's gone on. There we go. I'm going to stamp my word next. So we're going to do that lovely dream coming down. I'm going to plonk it on the table. It's the best way not to get it wonky is to pop it down and pick it up so it's nice and straight, or if you wanted to, you can make it even more wiggly. So pop it down and then go and stamp it on. So I'm just going to pop this one down a little bit, just like that. Oops. So again, just make sure, it's almost like you want to over ink it if you're going onto your oxides. Just like that. We're going to have Dream. We want that to come in like that. There we go. It's arguing a little bit with that Salty Ocean, but we can fix that. You all know how we'll fix that. Again, let's get a couple of these little fellas on. Pop one here. There's that one, and then I'm going to do another one of these. Oops, I'm inking my table rather than my stamp here. And then we'll pop that one. Do this one like a bit more of a shorty down this end. Just like that. Let me just get the ink off my table. Though to be fair, it doesn't really matter on my table, does it? It's more than enough coloured in already. Right, so ooh, sorry, popped you seasick then, didn't I? Took you all for a tumble. So I've got my white pen, and I'm looking, there he is, for my black one as well. Can't believe I've nearly ran another one of these out. I'm going to start by putting my doodly lines in. Yeah. And I just want to make them a little bit fatter. I could have used the other words now, thinking about it. Didn't quite mean that fat, but there we go. Right, and can you see here that dream is just fighting with that circle in the background? We don't want that. We want to know what's going to be on top. Yep, so we're just going to help it out a little bit. Let me just move this around so I can get to it a bit easier. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white gel pen and just come on the inside. Anywhere where you think you just can't see it well enough, Doesn't really matter down here because we're on top of that lovely twisted citron. But that blue, you could see that blue was really starting to fight with it, wasn't it? So just add a little bit of your white gel pen. And again on here as well. Just add a little bit of white gel pen. As you can see, again, it is just fighting a bit too much. So lend it a helping hand and let it tell you what's back on the top. Just a little bit here as well. There we go. I don't know if you can quite, if I just lift, oops, I can just lift that up for you. Show you that one. It just helps that flower head come right to the top, doesn't it? Yep. So now we can go back in and we can start doing the little bits we want to. So I'm just going to put a little bit of colour on there. Again, just on the inside. Oh, thanks Denise. I can't take the credit though, it was Alison's idea. And then I'm just going to start, oh. Part of me wants to dot in the middle of here. But I'm going to leave it for a minute because I might change my mind. Now, I'm working with Mr. Big Fat number 10. And there's no way that I can do it neatly on these little ones with number 10. So I'm going to just grab a finer gel pen and something to rest my hand on because again, we're working on oxide, aren't we? So we don't want my sweaty hands or my oily hands, I think. Oh, that sounds even worse, doesn't it? You get the picture. I don't want the moisture, again not a great idea, from my hands to pick up that distress oxide. It's not a nice way to describe it at all, is it? But you know what I mean. There we go. And again on this one. I do love these little gel pens, you know how much. Oops. Again, just start to add some dots. What would look quite nice is grabbing the natural oils in your hand. That's the one. Sounds a lot smarter. So grabbing that little inside one would look quite nice in the middle, but I'm going to go back to my fat one, I think. I'm just going to dot random. It's gone crusty. Let's just start dotting this one randomly. There you go. But so yeah. Oh, I'd forgotten about that, Val. You're very right. Yeah, we're back on again on the 3rd, so it's going to be interesting who I get. So I have given them a lot of clips to use for this year's bloopers, haven't I? And it's only August. Imagine what the rest of the year is going to bring. Poor Paola and Yanis won't work with me again, probably. It was fun though. Right. I'm quite liking this now. It is starting to come together. You know, it gets to that point, doesn't it, where you think, yes, it is going to start to work, this bit. To be fair, I've still not measured my hand. It's one of those interesting facts. So I'm just going to grab this again And I don't want to do too much on here, on my background, but I can't have circles without a little bit of just a little bit of doodling on it. You could spend hours on this, couldn't you, doing your doodles and things. No, step away, girl, you don't need any more. Right, I'm going to put that down there. I'm going to take these away. I'm not going to throw them away just yet because we... Oh, look, I splodged. Whoops. How did I not see that until now? I think I'm going to do a bit of a ribbon frame, and then these guys are going to get coloured in as well. So you all know how to do ribbon frames. You do a wiggly woggly one, and then the fatter you leave your gaps, the more you get to add to it. So I'm going to turn it around again, come down, and I'm not going near any of my stamped images. Yep, you can see it leaving a nice big gap. So it doesn't get confused with what's the background and what's the foreground. This bit's going to be a bit interesting, isn't it? Oops, hit that brush again. Pop that on there. Ooh, that was very wiggly. Your borders, Noella. If you're struggling with your borders, I know this sounds really daft, let me find a scrappy bit of paper. I'm sure I've got a better piece than that. I'm going to throw my not so good mask out the way. So, what you want to do is try and draw a straight one, and then on your second one, go for it. Yeah, if you're really struggling with it. So then you still get your lovely big gaps to fill in, but you don't have to do two wiggly woggly lines, because I know I found that quite tricky to begin with. Yeah, so it still looks quite cool. Do a straight line and then really go for it on your second one, or you do two woggly ones. That doesn't look quite as good. Yeah, right, so again, you know how to do this. We're just going to sit here now and colour in our frame. I could have added some of the colour from our oxides as well, but I'm not. I'm going to do this in black and white because I think it looks so lovely, and then I'm going to add my colour to my little circles. Yeah, to be honest, Noella, that's how I started out. I started off doing one straight line, and then my second was wobblier, because I've already drawn one, haven't I? So I'd already committed to it. So I'm being really boring tonight, we're just having stripes. And then the other little thing I like to do when I'm colouring in is, if I colour me two tips, you know where your wiggles join, for want of a better word, if you colour in your tips, it's a little bit more forgiving. Yeah. You know, so if you don't quite join your tips up right and things like that, if you colour them in, no one knows. It's just so much fun to do as well, so relaxing. Just like that. But it must be like watching paint dry though. Put that on there. I should have started on this side first, shouldn't I? Oh, I'm scratching my pen, you can hear it, can't you? That one there. It's fun to do. See, there you go, I went all over there. If you noticed, I went off my line here, so because it was in the point, I got away with it. You wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't told you. Oops. And again there, so let's just add it in again. Reminds me of, what's that cat? Do you remember Meg, Mog and Owl books? Reminds me of Mog. He was a black and white stripy cat. Weird, isn't it, how little things remind you of other stuff? There we go. These bits are fiddly and faffy at the bottom, aren't they? There we go. Right. Feels better already, doesn't it? I think it's my hands like that, so it makes you tilt your head. Because I tilt my head as I'm colouring. Now, to really make it pop, you would go back round with your white pen and just fill it in. So you're basically blocking out all that colour. So where you've gone wiggly over your lines, or if you've gone a little bit wrong with your black line and you need to neaten them up a bit, your white pen is great for that. Let's turn it around again. So it just sharpens those lines a little bit for you. You could go around and put a different colour in, but I do like black and white. And right now you'd be adding another colour to it, wouldn't you? I've done it again. I've started colouring in on this side, but I should really start on this side. I think sometimes though, limiting your colour really does add to it. You know, it really does like make it pop a little bit more. I know I've got a little hint of pink in there from my Brusho, my Escape Brusho. Not got a clue where my Escape Brusho's gone. It would look, I think, with the what do you call it, pen, like the metallic-y pen. But I've not seen me doodle pens for a week, so you know, these little flecks of pink are making me want to colour these in pink, and I'm going to embrace it. So these little flecks that are making me look at them and go, oh. It'll be Alzerian Crimson because there's no other pink that bright and intense. And I'm not going to go too heavy-handed with it. I want it really, really light. So I've just popped. Oh, you can't see. That camera's really close in tonight, isn't it? I've got a little bit of Alzerian Crimson on my desk. And I want it really, really pale. So lots and lots of water would help if you could see what I was doing. But then you're going to see how messy my desk is. So I can't reach. There we go. Now you can see a bit more of my desk. So I want, there we go, really real, really pale. Yep. And I'm just going to do a quick, almost like a colour wash on it. again with this one. Would be easier if I'd moved my book round. Just like that. It's a really pale pink on there. Let's get that out of my brush before it turns my brush pink. I'll just wipe this off my desk. You can see I used hardly any brush there at all. Look at that. Love Alzarian Crimson. And Gamboge. Gamboge. Absolutely Gamboge. Favourite colour. But you know that already, don't you? Right, so I'm just going to blast that with my heat gun. And then I just want to give it a little bit more depth. Give it a bit of a dry as well. There we go. Right. Oof. Hot flushes. Charcoal pencil time. Oh, I've not got gentle fingers tonight, have I? That's a bit better. So I'm just going to come down the edge. Really, really gentle. And then on the top edge, I'm going to go on the inside. So can you see just that little bit of... Come on, there we go. Just that little bit of shading on there. Nothing too much. And again, on the inside this time. Just like that. And then I'm just going to add a little bit to these guys. Oh, it's still wet. Can you see how dark my charcoal pencil's gone there? Whoops. Oh, I'm gone. My phone's just decided to give up on me. There we go. It's coming back. Then just a little bit on there. And then finally, it's got to be done. Let's get these out again. Just add to my little dots, my dashes. If you want to, you can. If you go around one of them, you can like bring it to the top. Yep. Do that on that one as well. Add a few little dots and dashes. Nothing too much. I think that is done. Move some of the bits around. There we go. I think that pink actually worked, didn't it? See, happy accidents and all that. Little splodges of pink on here. I'm assuming my page before's got pink on it. Little happy accidents on there. I am just going to, this is where I start faffing now. Let's just pull this to the front because he just wasn't quite there, was he? There we go, that's a bit better. That big blue one just keeps interfering, doesn't he? So, there you go. So, first of all, thank you to Alison for sharing that lovely idea over in the group of using these lovely circles to create a frame. So what else did we do? We masked off a frame, an aperture, so you could use a die cut, you could have used a poly plate, it would have been a lot quicker to use a poly plate, and we used Twisted Citron and Salty Ocean to get these lovely colours in the background, and a little bit of brush out that just fell on the page. We've used the circles in the background in Twisted Citron and Salty Ocean, and then we just stamped our lovely big flower heads and our dream. We drew on our stalks, we did a bit of a wiggly border, and that's it really. Nothing too complicated tonight, but I do think it looks pretty cool. So a big shout out to Alison for sharing that idea with us. Yeah, I think it looks quite cool, doesn't it? Right, so let's see if I can get this right. I'm all rusty after a week off. So thank you for joining me tonight. We are back on Thursday because it's little lady's birthday on Friday. So, oh, thank you all. So we're back on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So I hope you can join me then. It's anything goes on a Thursday, isn't it? It should be Friday. So we'll just be having a bit of a play on Friday, Thursday even. Thursday, 7 o'clock. We'll be there. We're also back on the craft store on a week tomorrow, next Tuesday the 3rd of August at 1 o'clock, and I'm just going to go for poly plates, and we're just going to have a bit of a play with our poly plates, do some quick techniques and things like that. So nothing new is in the show, we're just having a technique show and a bit of fun and a bit of playing with our poly plates. So that should be fun. So I hope you can join me then. That's 1 o'clock a week tomorrow on the 3rd of August on the craft store. But before that, we're back on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So hope you can join me then. Like I said before, we are pretty much back up to speed with our orders. So thank you all for bearing with me for our week off. Yeah, I think that's everything I've got to tell you. Oh, and a big shout out to Claire, who's been looking after Facebook and Insta for us for the past week. So she's been sharing some really lovely inspiration on there as well. So I think that's everything. I think so. So thank you for joining me. Take care, stay safe. Hopefully it's going to cool down a little bit. Hopefully. Hot flushes, not a good look. Anyway, take care, stay safe, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.